Hey Athey kids and parents. This weekend in Athey Kids, we are reading about God using Samson to deliver Israel. Samson is the last deliverer in the book of Judges. During his time, Israel did not even bother asking God for deliverance, and Samson used his incredible God-given strength to fulfill his own desires. While this led to ongoing slavery for Israel and to misery and death for Samson, it did not prevent God from accomplishing his purpose. The people of Israel did what the Lord said was wrong, so he let the Philistines rule over them for 40 years. There was a man named Manoah, and his wife could not have children. The angel of the Lord appeared to Manoah's wife. He said, "You have not been able to have children, but you will become pregnant and have a son. Don't drink wine or beer. Don't eat anything that is unclean. You must never cut your son's hair because he will be a Nazirite. He will be given to God from birth. He will begin the work of saving Israel from the power of the Philistines." It happened just as the angel of the Lord said. When Samson was a grown man, he went down to the city of Timnah. There he saw a young Philistine woman and wanted to marry her. His father and mother answered, "Surely there is a woman from Israel that you can marry. Do you have to marry a woman from the Philistines?" Samson's parents did not know that the Lord wanted this to happen. He was looking for a way to start a fight with the Philistines. Samson went down with his father and mother to Timnah. On the way, suddenly, a young lion came roaring towards Samson. The Spirit of the Lord entered Samson with great power. Samson tore the lion apart with his bare hands. For him, it was as easy as tearing apart a young goat. But Samson did not tell his father or mother what he had done. Several days later, Samson went back to marry the Philistine woman. On his way, he went over to look at the body of the dead lion. He found a swarm of bees in it. They had made some honey. Samson got some of the honey with his hands, and he gave some to his parents too. But Samson did not tell them that he had taken the honey from the body of the dead lion. The custom was for the bridegroom to give a feast before the wedding. When the people saw him, they sent 30 men to be with him. Then Samson said to the 30 men, "Let me tell you a riddle. This feast will last for 7 days. If you can, I will give you 30 linen shirts and 30 changes of clothes. But if you cannot tell me the answer, you must pay me 30 linen shirts and 30 changes of clothes." Samson said, "Out of the eater comes something to eat. Out of the strong comes something sweet." Before sunset on the 7th day of the feast, the Philistine men had the answer from Samson's bride-to-be herself. They came to Samson and said, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" Then Samson knew they had gotten the answer from the young woman he was about to marry. The Spirit of the Lord entered Samson and gave him great power. Samson went down to the city and killed 30 of their men and took all their clothes and property. He gave those clothes to the men who had answered his riddle. Then he went to his father's house very angry. And Samson's wife was given to his best man at the wedding. Samson attacked the Philistines and killed many of them. Then he went down and stayed in a cave. Then the Philistines went up and camped in the land of Judah. The men of Judah asked them, "Why have you come here to fight us?" They answered, "We have come to make Samson our prisoner. We want to pay him back for what he did to our people." Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the cave and said to Samson, "What have you done to us? Don't you know that the Philistines rule over us?" Samson answered, "I only paid them back for what they did to me." Then they said to him, "We have come to tie you up. We will give you to the Philistines." So they tied Samson with 2 new ropes and led him to the Philistines. They were shouting for joy. Then the Spirit of the Lord entered Samson and gave him great power. The ropes on him became weak like strings that had been burned. They fell off his hands. Samson found a jawbone of a donkey that had just died. He took it and killed 1,000 men with it. Then Samson said, With a donkey's jawbone, I have made donkeys out of them. With a donkey's jawbone, I have killed 1,000 men. The kings of the Philistines went to Delilah. They said, "Try to find out what makes Samson so strong. Try to trick him into telling you. Find out how we could capture him and tie him up. Then we will be able to control him. If you could do this, each one of us will give you 28 pounds of silver." So Delilah said to Samson, "Tell me why you are so strong. How could someone tie you up and take control of you?" She kept bothering Samson about this secret day after day. He became so tired of it, he felt he was going to die. So he told her everything. He said, "I've never had my hair cut. I've been set apart to God as a Nazirite since I was born. If someone shaved my head, then I would lose my strength. I would become as weak as any other man." Delilah saw that he had told her everything sincerely. Delilah got Samson to go to sleep. He was lying in her lap. Then she called in a man to shave off 7 braids of Samson's hair. In this way, she began to make him weak, and Samson's strength left him. Then she called out to him, "Samson, the Philistines are about to capture you." He woke up and thought, "I'll get loose as I did before and shake myself free." But he did not know that the Lord had left him. Then the Philistines captured Samson. They tore out his eyes. They put bronze chains on him. They put him in prison and made him grind grain. The kings of the Philistines gathered to celebrate. They were going to offer a great sacrifice to their god, Dagon. The people were having a good time at the celebration. They said, "Bring Samson out to perform for us." So they brought Samson from the prison. He performed for them. They made him stand between the pillars of the temple of Dagon. A servant was holding his hand. Samson said to him, "Let me feel the pillars that hold up the temple. I want to lean against them." Now the temple was full of men and women. All the kings of the Philistines were there. There were about 3,000 men and women on the roof. They watched Samson perform. Then Samson prayed to the Lord. He said, "Lord, remember me. God, please give me strength one more time. Let me pay these Philistines back for putting out my 2 eyes." Then Samson held the 2 center pillars of the temple. These 2 pillars supported the whole temple. He braced himself between the 2 pillars. His right hand was on one and his left hand was on the other. Samson said, "Let me die with these Philistines." Then he pushed as hard as he could. And the temple fell on the kings and all the people in it. So Samson killed more of the Philistines when he died than when he was alive. God even used Samson's sinful desires to fight powerfully against the Philistines, eventually using Samson to destroy the Philistine idol and all the Philistine leaders. That's what we're going to talk about this weekend. We are excited to see you guys. Until then, God bless.